Hi there, it's Paul again. I hope wherever you're watching this, you are very well indeed. So really just wanted to jump back on and kind of give you some feedback really about the last video that I recorded, I think a couple of weeks ago. And it's a video entitled, Am I Wrong, or I Might Be Wrong, or something like that. And it was really looking at sort of the difference that I come across between kind of a bigger business's attitude to marketing and a smaller business's attitude to marketing. And if you haven't watched it, it might be worth a watch, because it's, I think out of all the content I've put out this year, that's the thing that I've had the most emails about. This is the thing, it caused a few people to call me, which is great. But that's the sort of thing that's got the feedback. Because in a short version of that, I kind of surmise that there is a real difference in business size when it comes to attitude to marketing. Because bigger businesses are trying to do whatever they can to do more marketing, because they get it, they believe in it, they will trying to spend as much money because they know that's where the money comes in from. And I think not all, but certainly a lot of small businesses, I think if they're brutally honest, they would love to run their business without doing any marketing at all. And I kind of get it, and it just, I didn't really kind of have an answer for it, but it was more a case of, kind of amusing, a thought really. And I suppose this is kind of the second round of that thought, because interestingly, and I don't say this very often, I don't think I was wrong. I think, looking from the feedback, we had some really thoughtful feedback from some big businesses and interestingly quite a few small businesses, and I think overwhelmingly the small businesses were sort of, well, yeah, I think that is the case, Paul, and it was really interesting what they came back, and I think it's kind of what we kind of expected. And I think for many of the small businesses, I think it came down to the fact that they feel a bit paralysed almost. They're not quite sure what of all the options that they're going to do, and they're not quite sure how to do it. And there's lots of other things as well. Money obviously is always going to be a big one, because big businesses have big pots, but they have big pots because they make more money. And so we as small businesses kind of have to kind of think carefully, well, what do we spend our time on, what's the right sort of thing, and kind of how the marketing kind of fits into that. And I think the overall picture for me would kind of came down, and I think it's it's perhaps exactly what I expected, is that the truth is bigger businesses work a plan. They have a plan and they are working that plan. And this isn't a plan as, I suppose as any business kind of have an idea in mind, but businesses have a plan. They have a specific kind of set of rails to go down, and they know what they're working to, and they know each section of it that fits in that place, and they know a part of that is the marketing stuff. And I think perhaps for small businesses, and not all of them, but for certainly the majority of small businesses, they don't have that plan. They're sort of working day to day, living day to day, and I don't mean that in kind of a negative, derogatory way, because it isn't, because small businesses are incredible things, the things that they do. But I think quite often the not taking action on the marketing side comes down to not really knowing why they'd be doing it, what they'd be doing it for, and thus which of all the million options you end up with. And I think that having that absolute clarity is really important. I think that's what where the bigger businesses have got the right clarity. And we've all kind of seen, certainly recently, some things go kind of spectacularly wrong in that big business world. But they have a plan. They know what they're working towards. And I think the small businesses don't, and I think that's a big part of it. But I also think there is that, as sort of the next part of that is that people have been burnt by marketing a bit. And I think, there is that, and I think, Tim and I, if you've watched a few of our videos, Tim and I did a video ages ago where we talked about strategy versus tactics. And I think that's a really big plan in place, because I think too many small businesses jump straight into tactics because they see the shiny thing of Facebook or LinkedIn or direct mail or whatever, and they do the tactics without seeing if it's an that's what I mean. Seeing if it's an actual part of the plan. And I think that's a big kind of thing, that adds into that frustration, because they're not working a plan, because they're doing a thing, they're doing a tactic, they haven't got a strategy. That then frustrates them and it burns them, and their cash gets burnt as well. Well, I've tried a bit of that and it never kind of worked. And we've all been there, and I think this is perhaps the bit that we as small businesses need to look at and need to kind of focus on, because as I said in that first video, pretty much all of us as a small business want to grow. Now, that's not saying we all want to be gargantuan, but we want to be bigger than we are, because that's kind of why we're doing it. Even if that biggerness, even if that allows us to have less time in it and more money out, or whatever it is. So we have to, almost by definition, we've got to market more, because the one reality of business, you'll always lose business. That's just the nature. Your clients will go out of business, they'll go elsewhere, blah, 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 that kind of thing there. So we kind of have to grow. So then we have to market, because there isn't another way. You can't work harder and double the size of your business. It just doesn't work. You can't work smarter and double the size of business. You need more business in. That's just kind of how it works. It's just kind of a given, really. And I think that's why it ends up in this kind of this messy, kind of frustrating way, because us as small businesses, I think too many of us don't have that crystal clear plan. This is the point I'm getting to. These are the bits I need to have in place, right? These are the steps to work it. And once you've got that, everything becomes dead easy. And I think, the businesses that are, the small businesses that are really embracing the marketing are guys that have that plan. They know what they're doing. So actually, they're not doing that get up in the morning and think, I've got to just go and earn some more money. Because I think earning more money is one of the most difficult things you can do, because it's not tangible. But actually, if you've got a plan, you don't need to do that. You think, well, actually, what I need to do, I need to wake up this morning and go and find 5 accountants, and then send this letter to those accountants, and then follow up with this call. And you have that plan to work, because every 10 accountants you sit down with, 5 become clients, or whatever it is. And I think that's the real kind of crux of the matter. And I think that was what all the sort of the feedback came back from, is that almost all the small businesses that came back to me kind of said, well, actually, Paul, it's because we don't really know what to do. And I think that's the kind of thing. And again, that is the difference, because a small business owner, it's you doing everything. Big business, you've got teams of stuff. But I think, they've only got teams of stuff is because they've built teams of stuff, and they know that they need people to do each of those things. Does that make sense? And I just thought, it was another kind of Monday musing, or a Tuesday musing, as it were. It is into that, well, okay, if you're a small business owner watching this, how does that fit in? How does that kind of fit for you? Are you in that place where you'd rather not do it? You want to grow, but in truth, you want to do it without marketing? Because if you are, that becomes really difficult, and it becomes very frustrating. And I think this is where the difference is, and this is where, again, as I said, it's not often I can say I'm not wrong, but I think I was absolutely right on the money. Is that the bigger businesses want to do more marketing, the smaller businesses wish they could do it without it, because they find it frustrating, they find it a hindrance. But the reality is, that's only there because there's too much going on. There is too much in their heads, there's too much for them to think about. So actually, they don't do anything. They just kind of get stuck in a mire of what do you do. And actually, above and beyond all else, if you have a proper plan and you look at strategy first and not tactics, so where am I trying to get to? What do I need? What are the steps? Everything becomes easier, because then the marketing that you need to choose becomes easier. How you need to do it becomes easier, because it's all there, part of the plan. Anyway, I don't know if that helps. That's just another kind of musing for you. But yeah, thanks for all your feedback. Loads of stuff. That really, really interesting. Kind of just chat to so many new business owners about it. But anyway, hope that's useful. Have a great week wherever you are. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see you again soon.